Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. Now, you can probably tell by my voice I'm a bit excited. Got some lovely new things to share with you. So we've got some new stamps out and some new stencils. The whole collection is called the Coven of Curiosities. And I have to say that now at the beginning because you know me, I'll forget or I'll call it something else. And what's really exciting about this is we've got a lovely new set of stencils and some lovely new stamps. Now, Tracey's been working on this collection for quite a few months. So you will have seen sneak peeks, especially of the stencils. So if you're thinking that looks a bit, there's been lots of sneak peeks shared around, and she has worked so hard with these designs. By the time she's drawn them and then they get sent off and then prototypes come, I mean, we've had the designs to work with for a while, and we couldn't tell you, so I'm sorry. So when you've been asking me is anything new coming, I have to be tight-lipped, but I really can't wait to share it all with you. So now I finally can. So calm my little self down, but you're going to love these. Now I'm going to create this quite a simple design just to give you a basic idea, but I know you are going to run with these. They're going to be so useful, not just for Halloween type designs, but for men's cards in general. Absolutely fabulous. Now the stencils, it's a lovely set called the Autumn Mist Collection. And we have 4. And if I show you the pictures here, oh, sorry, you're going to get the glare, aren't you? I should have thought of that, You'd think I'd know by now. You'd think I'd be doing these videos long enough. That's better. But look at these, they're lovely drips. And then these, the mist, and this one around here. Think of the scenes you can put in there. As I keep saying, great for men's cards, but I'm also seeing a Christmas card in this one. So, yes, I'm afraid I will be doing a Christmas card in this one. I love these. Tracey's original artwork is amazing, and these all come from her original artwork and her designs. And as I say, she's been working on these for months. And I love the fact that we've got stencils. You know me, I just love a good stencil. A nice size too. So if you're somebody who works on smaller cards, you can actually get just the middle of the design. Right, enough, stop, let's have a play. So for this particular design, I'm going to use this one. I like it with the longer drips. And I'm also thinking, could I use it that way with the drips coming down? You see, honestly, like me, your mind will just, whiz. 5 by 5 centimetre square piece of Multifarious. And now a little tip here, I'm going to make a hinge. So what I'm going to do is, if I pop the design there so that this is in this corner, take myself my Lavinia low tack tape, she says when I can find the end. And then what I'm going to do is just along this edge here. So if any, I like to hold my stencil in place. Well, this just gives me a hinge so I can actually lift it up and down. And if you've got dexterity problems, ladies and gentlemen, this is a game changer. It makes it so much easier for you. So I know now, and that is still in a good place for me. Happy with that. But look, I can just lift up, have a look, see how, I've probably got my hinge a bit tight, but see how things are going, and it'll flop back to the correct place. So for me, game changer, make yourself a hinge. Although I would say, before now, I have been told I'm a bit unhinged myself, but shh, we won't tell anybody that, will we? Elements, I'm going to come in with Graphite first, lovely grey colour. And I've gone for a number 7 brush just because the larger brush, for me, I want to get in these little areas. So I'm just going to hold the stencil at this edge, look. And I just found it easier. I've got to be honest, I could be quicker if I hold the moon part down. I've got to call it the moon part because I don't know what to call it. And I just found when I was doing each part, for me, if I just put my hand near it, it just meant I could be a bit quicker adding my ink. But I mean, you'll probably take your time. And again, I'm just getting some nice grey ink in this area. Now, Eric's had physio today and he's asleep under my craft table, but because he's had physio, he's all relaxed and in quite a deep sleep. So if you hear any snoring, I promise it is not me, it's not Carl, it's Eric. Right, so I'm going to have a look at that. And if we lift it up, look, lovely. Isn't that gorgeous? Fabulous shape. But I want to add a little bit more detail. So in comes Midnight Blue and going down again, so a number 3 brush. And this time, I just want to catch the edges. So it's very much like we did, you know, when we did the bottles, the sticker stencils, the bottles, where we added a light colour and then went round with a darker colour. It's the same sort of thing here. I'm adding the light grey and then just coming in with a darker. And we'll just add some there. Now, what I found here, it was best if I just held the stencil here, and I want the grey, the darker colour in those drops. I just think it gives them a bit more oomph. So again, but like I say, you will take your time. I'm conscious. I don't want to keep you all day or all night. You could be watching at night. Let me know, is it day, is it night? Is it witching hour? Ooh, do, do, do. Right. And then what I can do, again, lift that up and have a little look. There we go, can you see? And it just gives that lovely depth. So I'm happy with that, but just at these very ends, look, I'm going to come in with a little bit more. And it's gone down to the same place. Right, happy with that. Oh, it's alive. And I'm going to add some water splats now. So fan brush. And I'm just holding the stencil down. But you know, if a little bit of water bleeds underneath, it will just add to the design. And I'll show you on my original, oh, I've got a big splat there. Chances are that's going to bleed under. But it'll just add. I'm just adding a few more. Right, and then I'm going to whiz that up. Now we have got a bit of, I was a bit enthusiastic with my water there. But don't worry, we can just dab it off, look. And actually, I quite like that. It's added, that's going to be one of those happy accidents, you know. Obviously there was more water than my original, but I think that looks quite misty, so I'm having that. I could say, I could pretend, couldn't I? That's how I wanted it. So we'll give this a quick wipe. And again, lovely stencil. So wipes nice and clean, look, always clean front and back. And then that's ready to use again. But look at that. I'm going to give it a quick whiz with my heat tool. So again, just bear with. So when I compare it with the original look, obviously the original, I didn't add as much water, but I quite like the way that almost looks even more misty. So it just shows you, and this is me being honest, this is what happens. You know, it's difficult making the same thing twice, but sometimes you do have those happy accidents. And I think that makes it look even more mysterious. So I'm going with that. So I'm just going to get my trusty pile of copy paper and we'll add some stamping. I'm going to come in with the Nocturne. But you know, I genuinely do get excited when we can finally share things with you. Sometimes I'm absolutely bursting, especially when it's something I love. And as you know, I just love stencils. So do excuse me if I come over a bit giddy, but I genuinely love these. And this one, Witch Hazel, fabulous, because you know, guess what, you can make a wreath with it. See, I bet you wouldn't have thought I'd have wanted to make a wreath, would you? See, What's nice about this though is it actually, and this is where you just need to pop your head above, it goes nicely with the shape. Now I don't know if that's coincidence, but knowing our Tracey, she'll have actually, you know, designed it that way. But if you look, it follows that lovely shape. So we'll have another one here. And I love the fact it's almost like a naked branch. So again, if we just follow that shape, it's like that ink soaking, because the card was a bit wet from my over splatters. So I think we've got a nice shape there. And when I was saying before about, you know, Christmas, I'm thinking this were, can you see why my mind went on to Christmas? Now this guy, Specter, he's great. I mean, when I've been using him, I've been thinking of all sorts of stories. And you know, I think those of you that make stories up, obviously I'm not going to divulge too much now, but I think you could make such a story up around Specter. Now, wherever you want to stamp him on here, but I'm thinking if I just get my head over, I want to see if I can get his claw on that branch. Now, if I haven't, I've got a black fine liner. So he may just need an extra toe. No, we're okay, look. He's on the branch. Now, when I got to this point, I just felt it needed something hanging here. So I got my fairy charms, but it's a bit long and I didn't want it going out of the top of the picture, but I wanted something to hang from the branch here. So if I just, I've got a piece of paper here that I tear for scrap. So what we'll do, we just ink up. And we've got so many lovely hanging things. But I'm thinking if I just put the scrap paper there, I can hang that there. Now, again, missed a little bit there, but now I can draw it in with my fine liner. But I've got the foliage set here, and on the foliage set you get this, which I think looks like a bird's footprint. Look, I think if you had these in the snow, it would look like a bird has just walked down my page. Or is that just me? Anyway, what I thought with this is it almost resembles and looks like, so you could use this if you wanted to extend the design look. I think this one works really well. So this is from the foliage set. And if I stamp that there, can you see that now it looks, the only thing I will do with my fine liner, which has run away. How dare it? No, there it is. I will just add that tiny bit there because that'll annoy me. I want it, you know, if you're going to do it properly. So we'll pop the lid on there. Now, I got to this stage and I love it, but because that's grey and I just want some grey stamping somewhere. So there's a lovely hangy bit on the foliage set. So I thought morning mist. So let's go for the grey. And again, we can hang. So if I use my copy paper, look, because we can hang some lovely, we'll have one there. One there. Let's have a full one there. Now I had 4, but I like the 3 on there. The way I've spaced it, I don't want any more. I think it would spoil it. So we'll give that a blot, just in case. I don't want to smudge it. But I'm thinking Specter, there are so many places you could put him. Or is it a her? I think Specter's a him, don't you? But at this stage, I just thought I need something just round here, almost to make Specter more of a, I was going to say spectacle, but that sounds wrong, doesn't it? So, moon mask, and as always, I'm just going to turn it upside down. I'm going to pop it in the middle, And I'm going to come in with Della Blue. Now my Della Blue is a well-used Della Blue. So it might be if yours is a new one. Just test it to see how much colour you're getting, because I don't want this to be too blue. I want it almost, because it's a grey blue. I mean, I could have come in with the grey, but I didn't think there was enough contrast just round here. And I've kept it nice and light here, look. And I just think, I mean, it very quickly builds up. If you needed a quick card, I mean, how quick is this? So a couple of finishing tricks, and we'll come in with the white. This is one of the beautiful soft pastel pencils. So I'm just going to add some on the heart here, look. And then we'll just add a little bit Specter's head, and then a little bit here. And I just want to give him a wing, and then onto his tail. And I'm not going to overdo it, just a little bit of shape. And again, I'm just smudging the pastel. Does two things. It makes it look more sort of mystical, but also it fixes it. And just build it up. See, right, I'm happy with that. But what I will do, as you know, I like to use that combination of the gel pen. Just check it's working. And just add a little bit more. Just some tiny little highlights. So I've got my main, but added a little bit. And then this is the Wink of Stella, and this is the silver. And what I'm going to do is, and you won't see it, but I'll lift it up just to show you. So I'm just adding some little dots and just a little bit on the branches. And it's amazing, with it being the silver, as it dries, and again, just on his back, look, and his wings. You know, often black birds, especially ravens, rooks, crows, they're even magpie. Have you ever seen a magpie with the sun on its back? The black just looks amazing. So with this silver, and then what I'm going to do, just down here, add a little bit on the drops. Now I'm thinking glossy accents. You could add glossy accents. But if I try and show you, I'm not sure if you can see that sparkle as it dries. I mean, look on Specter. As the sparkle dries, it will look even more. But the Wink of Stella is beautiful for this. Now, because we've got that different to the first one, I'm just going to come in with my pastel pencils, get my grey and get my white. Now, as I say, I didn't do this on the first, but you know me, get a bit carried away. But because I've got this Misty here, I'm thinking let's add a little bit of mist across here. So I'm going to come in with white, and then underneath the white, going to add a little bit of grey, and then just smudge the two. Then a little bit more white, and just go right across, and then the same here. And I'm just going to bring it round just a little bit over Specter. Not too much, and then a little bit of the grey. And then back in with the white and a smudge. And just build up and play. So I'm just adding the grey and then the white. Giving it a bit of a smudge. Just want to bring that down here. And almost the grey shows up more, but then with the white, if you've got your pan pastel, you could use your pan pastel. Obviously, I'm just using my pencils, and I'll lift it up to show you, because obviously it doesn't always show up in this light. Let me have a look. Yeah, a little bit here, and then we're finished. I don't want to overcook it, but I just want that misty. So it's just coming off the design here. And the combination of the white and the grey really do. If I lift that up, can you see? So it's just altered it up again. just slightly. So I'm going to just put those back in there. And then this one as well, I'm going to add just some little, I couldn't decide with my original whether to add some coloured splatters with my Della blue. So I thought this one I will, and I'll compare the two. So a little bit of Della blue and then just a few. But I think with adding the Misty, I just fancied adding a few. I don't want to go too many, but just in that across there. Right, mop this up. And if I lift that up, oh, I just love playing with these. Look at that. You know, I think you could even make a retirement card. I mean, so many things you can do. Honestly, I can't wait to use the other three. Well, I can't wait to share with you what I've used with the other three. Right, sentiment stickers. On my original, I've put time for bed because it just tickled me. I thought, it's time for bed for him. But I'm thinking, what am I going to go with? Oh, you see, we've got so many. It's just so difficult, isn't it? You know, this takes me the longest. But you know what? I'm going to go to Turn the Tide. So Specter's thinking he's got to turn the tide now again. You see, I was going to put it up there, but I quite like it across there on this one. And again, just to be different from my original. Do you know what? I think you're going to have so much fun with these. I cannot wait to see what you create. And if I bring the original one in, just to show you the difference. And that's the beauty of these. I think there are so many different things you can do. So please, when you get them, have a play and tag me in and share on our Lavinia socials, please. And that way you'll inspire each other. And also I can be nosy because I love to see what you do. So you take care. Thanks as always for popping in. I hope you had a cheeky brew and biscuit while you were watching. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.